Hi gang, welcome back to the Hora Es Latina. It's again Corona Saturday. I have to play one of my favorite songs. It's from the 80s. You know, this is not to make fun of anything or any situation. It's just the title of the song is Dead Man's Party. And I love this song and I love the singer. I have a birthday this year and it's on November, Friday the 13th. And I was born at 3:22 a.m. and I would love to have this guy sing to me on my birthday. He's so awesome.
Live from the Ritz, oingo, oingo.
Ready? And a Corona. Anyway, he's awesome. And we're going to put him on pause. And I'm going to have my Corona. But anyway, I just am going to make the best of a situation, as we all are doing. And today I thought about cleaning out my closet because somebody mentioned it to me. And I thought it's just going to get all messed up again as soon as I lose something and have to tear it apart. So why even bother? But I went to the store and bought some beauty products and I slathered myself in the soap because I couldn't swim today. You know why I couldn't swim? Because there were ducks in the pool. Okay, and I thought that I would get coronavirus from the ducks. I literally thought that. And you know, people think that you can get coronavirus from the beer, you know, but you can't get it from ducks. But I mean, I guess you can get it from dogs and cats because like somebody can infect one of these things. But what if people get too close to the ducks? Or what if the ducks are swimming in the pool and somebody's sick? I don't know. I don't know. But people are getting crazy, okay? So I want to tell you that I went for a walk today because I had all this pent-up energy, and I saw this like bag lady in her like her gown in the middle of daylight, dressed in her like in a gown, and she like a nightgown, like something that you should wear to bed if you're like 90, okay? And she was an old lady, and I didn't want to give her a hard time, but like she was taking breadcrumbs and throwing them into the pond, and I asked her what she was doing, and she said she was feeding the ducks, but there was no ducks. There was no ducks in that pond. So, you know, you're feeding the gators or whatever, but you're not supposed to feed anything. I'm like, you can't feed the wild animals because like, then they'll start being like socialists. They'll think that if you give them something and they don't have to do anything, then they'll expect it. And then if you don't give them something, they'll eat you. They will eat you. They will associate you with food and feeding. That's why the gators ate the kids at Disneyland. So, I know I'm making a point here, and then maybe you might not understand it, but if you feed something and they're like wild, then they're going to become tame, and then if you stop feeding them, then they'll become wild again and they'll eat you. So that would be a very bad thing. You don't want to do that. So if you're visiting out of town and stuff like that, you might think it's nice to feed the ducks or the geese or whatever. Don't do it because the minute you run out of food, they're going to get pissed off and they're going to shit on your head. And you don't want a bunch of animals flying around you shitting all over your head. And so how does that relate to people? Well, you know, monkeys, anything that you feed, I mean, if you don't feed them, after feeding them, they're going to get mad and then they're going to like throw their feces at you. Okay, that's what happens in the zoo. Okay, I've seen it. So anyway, not to say that like, you know, this rationing and food shortage and everything is going to be like something that's going to go on forever, but people are getting paranoid and they're acting weird, okay? So let me give you an example. Like we run out of toilet paper. So the next thing we run out of is cat litter. And I'm like, okay, so like if we're going to have a food shortage, then like why are people like rationing up on the toilet paper? Because like if you don't have enough food, then you're not going to have enough shit, and then we're going to be shitting less, okay, not more. So I don't understand that whole logic. I mean, you think that they would stock up on other things other than toilet paper. Like I know if the world was coming to an end and I knew that something was going to be shortage, toilet paper is the last fucking thing I would buy. That's why I don't have any right now, and I'm in like a kind of a bind. You know, I guess we can buy Kleenex, they're telling us, but every store I go to for the last week has no toilet paper for the Barriqua. So, you know, when we were having hard times under the Obama era, somebody sent me some Obama toilet paper, and it was really lovely because it had his face on it. And I wanted to make it a collector item. I didn't want his face on my butt, okay? So I just didn't use it. But my stupid ex-boyfriend used up the toilet paper, and he didn't mind that Obama was on his ass, but I was pissed off because I had a special roll of Obama paper and now I don't. Not that I want any more of that, but I think that if we're going to talk about rationing and toilet paper, that we should have Bernie on the toilet paper. But you know what? I wouldn't wipe my ass with Bernie paper either. The only person I'd ever wipe my ass with, and I know this sounds very crude, is Donald Trump. Because I don't want an ugly person on the roll of the toilet paper touching my butt, okay? And he's, you know, he's cute. So anyway, I know. Like this is, you know, how a conversation goes with the Henri Latina. So I was thinking about ways of entertaining myself, and I told Bill I need a pole. And he asked me why, and I said, well, you know, it's not going to be working in the apartment because I have vaulted ceilings. And someday I want to have a house because I live in a condo complex and I have neighbors and everything. I want a house where I don't have so many neighbors because I want a stripper pole in my living room. He's like, why? I'm all, because it would be a really good workout. And then when people come over to visit, I have something that I can entertain them with. And he just kind of looked at me like, what? Well, anyway, I just thought it would be fun. So anyway, you know, it's a conversation piece. Like, you know, people see a pole in your living room, they're like, Dee, so what's that? So I always wanted to live in Texas, but I'm sure the houses in Texas don't have stripper poles. So like if I run for office, I will mandate that each and every house has a stripper pole. I think that'll go over really big because if you have all these people trying to make money stripping and some people just feel uncomfortable with it and think that it should be illegal, then we should make it to where everybody has a pole and everybody's doing it so it doesn't become everything that other people want. And then all of a sudden it's not important and then we just don't have a problem with it anymore. Don't you think? And then like prostitution should be legal too because then you can tax the prostitutes and then they can have like workers' benefits. I know a lot of Republicans wouldn't agree with me there, but you know what? I see the beauty in that because if you tax something and it's on the books and they have to pay taxes like everybody else, then they have to get tested and then you know there's a service out there that people need. I know a lot of Christians are going to disagree with me, but there's a lot of Christian husbands that don't want to cheat on their wife that are using these prostitutes. I guarantee you. And I know they wouldn't like this, but you know what? It's the perfect solution for a woman that wants to stay married and doesn't want her husband cheating on her. Because you know what? Honestly, some of these frigid bitches deserve to have prostitutes in their household. Because you know what? Their problem is that their husbands wouldn't be paying for this service if they were getting a little something something. But you know what? People are going to disagree with that too. Anyway, you got to be open-minded. Like you got to be open-minded about what's going on right now. The world is changing, folks. We're stuck in our house having to sit here dreaming about all this weird stuff like stripping poles and legalizing prostitution and people are like, oh, gee, that's horrible. Well, what the fuck are people gonna do? I mean, look, the stores are closing, the bars are closing, everything's closing, you know, but everybody's sitting around just jerking off at home. I mean, I think a prostitution coming to your house service would be excellent. But you know what? I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me with that. You know what? They're going to disagree. They're going to completely disagree. But you know, here's why it makes beautiful sense. Many guys don't want to be in a relationship with chicks, and many chicks just do not want to go out to dinner and have sex with a guy. You know what? It's too much for them because you know what? It's like they have to like go through this meal and I like you, babe, and this and that, and then the guy uses the girl and lances this whole seed like it's going to be something more than another, and then they get their feelings hurt, right? This way, when you have an agreement, the hooker is there, the guy's like, hey, I don't have to buy dinner, I'm going to give you some money, you know, boom, boom, they exchange it and everything's perfect. Why should that be so fucking wrong? There's a need. There's a huge need, and you know what? If you took the hidden cameras out there and you followed some of these guys to some of these stripping houses and stuff like that, you'd be finding that some of the most Christian, well-spoken for, very respected men are out there paying for a service. I kid you not. There are people out there that do this kind of thing. And you know what? We're going to have to do something, folks, because not everybody's going to be able to sit around the house and collect a check from the government. And with that said, you know what? We have to create jobs. And you know what? You don't want Dee out there thinking about ways that we can create money and income and revenue, and I'm sitting here saying tax the strippers. Now, I'm sure the strippers were probably not okay with that, but look, they're going to have to pay taxes anyway, because you know what? You can't keep working off the books, cupcakes. With that said, you guys have a blessed Saturday, and if you don't like it, and a lot of you fucking GOP people are going to have sticks up your butt, and you're not going to like it, and you're not going to find it funny, and you're not going to make, you know, oh, she's drinking Corona again. Well, fuck you, okay? If you don't like it, just fuck you, okay? You know, Jesus hung out with the strippers. He hung out with Mary Magdalene. She was a stripper. She was a prostitute. She was a whore, okay? He was not a perfect guy. He had dirty feet, and you know what? He probably didn't wash his hands either. With that said, have a blessed evening.